Okay. All right. Welcome you all. I am learning how to do this live streaming thing. I'm also going to be trying to video some of this. So I might try to put together a video in addition to the live stream anyway. So we'll see how that works out. Typically we only have a few people that show up, and I hope if you're rewatching this, just bear with us as we learn this new platform, like this new way of doing it. Yeah, so anyway, let's get started. As you know, 2 days ago, we went ahead and we processed the last of our 2 American guinea hogs. We quartered each half, so I have 8 major pieces out in the freezer right now. I've got to bring it in and break it down. Now, David was going to join me because he has to learn this part of it. However, we have car issues and our truck needs his attention more than the pigs need his attention right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab the first piece and we'll get started. Here's the first piece. It is the front shoulder of the pig. Now, usually what I do is I have the Farmstead Meatsmith video playing as I do this to remember how to do it. So I'm going from memory. I've done it. This is the 3rd pig, right, that we've done. This is our 6th time. These have been sitting in a cooler and ice out in the back. So let me see if you guys can get a good view of this. Let me move this up. Oops. All right. That should be good for you guys to watch what I'm doing here, okay? I do have, I'm going to put any sausage stuff, I'm going to put in here. That's going to be scraps of meat and fat. I have another one. I have another big silver bowl for my fat. And let me show you my tools before I get too into it. I've got a cleaver for large pieces of bone. I bought a hacksaw specifically and only to be used with processing meat. I eventually want to buy a meat saw, but this is what we've been using. And I actually have it in upside down. I replaced the blade and put it in upside down. I would recommend not doing that. You're not going to get very far with that. So, a hacksaw, a sharp small knife, and this is another saw. Additionally, you can see that I am wearing plastic gloves. Not that I'm afraid of touching the meat, but it's so, the fat is so, it's just so greasy, and you wind up slipping everywhere. So, let me just fix this. I can't believe I put it in upside down. Yes, I can believe. I can't believe that I did that. So, I'm gonna put that on there like so. The hacksaw, there are places that I'm gonna have to hack through bones. You're gonna see puppies circling underneath me because sometimes they actually do get the scraps. And we do give the bones to our barn dogs. They had a field day the last pig that we did, so they're gonna love this. There we go. Okay, so got that in. All right, so my hacksaw is ready, and I do have also a vacuum seal, a small vacuum sealer, and 2-gallon freezer bags. These are especially helpful when we make bacon later, but some pieces are so big that they don't fit in my vacuum seal bags. So that's what I use those for. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is flip this over. As you can see, this is my butchering table, and I have a giant pan with a cutting board underneath it. That keeps the moisture from getting all over the place. So let's see. First thing I want to do is I want to take off this arm of the pig, and then I'll rinse it off. I'm going to cut. You can cut it into different pieces so you have different segments. I'm just going to cut the entire leg, and I'm going to cut with the hacksaw above the elbow. But you always cut meat with a knife, and you cut bone with a saw. So that's just above the elbow. This is when David's muscles would come into play. But I've done this one before, so probably be faster if I was stronger, but it'll work. There we go. Oop. Ah, okay. Try not to get any of the meat. There we go. Okay, now I'm to meat. Take my little knife. There we go. Okay. And I will trim this up before I pack it, clean it, and trim it here. Okay. Trim up some of this. This stuff can go into the sausage. All right, now I'm gonna flip it over. Now that I got that done, and let me see, I made little diagrams. Let me check my diagram. Let's see. I've got to cut across here. I'm gonna cut across here. Okay, because I'm gonna make roasts out of these. So again, I'm going to cut everything that is meat with a knife, and everything, because you can see there's going to be some nice ribs, spare ribs and stuff in here. And in between the ribs, I'm going to go ahead and use, if I can. Yeah, they're not spaced wide enough like the ones that are in the back. This is the front of the pig. As you can tell, that was the front leg. Okay. So, if I'm not speaking loud enough, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember to speak loud enough. I get in the zone, and I didn't have my microphones ready, so I apologize. The truck breaking down this morning was not in the plans. Not in the plans. All right, now that I have all of that cut, flip it back over, and I can use my hacksaw to cut through the ribs. One rib. Okay. And then I've got to clean up. This is probably where the pig was stuck. After a pig is dispatched with a gun, you go ahead and stick. They call sticking a pig. It sounds terrible. Here, Ginger, you get that. And it's so the blood can drain out while the heart is still pumping. Okay, and there's another bone right there I've got to cut through. Okay, yep, I got all the meat. I think a lot of times, when I thought about us processing the pig, it was a little daunting because it's big. It's a big animal. This guy probably weighed 200 to 250 pounds easily. Our scale did not work, so yeah. Here goes Ginger. We will never know. But I will know how much meat we have at the end because last time I weighed it. So I'll let you know when I've got that finished. Okay, there we go. And I have the meat that I didn't get. There we go. There. I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to take off the ribs now. These will be like little ribs. Cut as close to the bone as I can. I might roast these for dinner tonight, these ribs. Last time I processed the pig out, when we harvested the last pig, I kept the loin. We had a nice pork loin dinner. It was so good. And those of you who have grown your own food of any kind, whether it's vegetable or animal, it just always tastes so much better. Not just because it's fresh, because that's the primary reason why, but because so much of you goes into it. So, up. Cut around here. There we go. Look at all that fat. You get a lot of fat. Look at all that fat. I'll put this part in with my sausage. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's nice and clean. All right. So now I'm going to cut off. Look at all this fat here. I'm going to cut all that off. Then there's some meat mixed in it. And I'm probably going to put that in, not all the fat, but a lot of the fat. He's got a lot of fat. I'm probably grind this part up to be in with the sausage as well. Okay, now I can better get the place where he stuck it and get that carved out and give it to Ginger, who's sitting over here waiting patiently. Huh, Ginger? For the scraps. Huh, darling? Yeah. There you go. Oh. All right. That looks good. Not the prettiest roast in the world, but for our family, can you imagine a roast this size? And this fat is going to make some great juices. Oh, let me cut all this off. As you can see, yeah, blood. Leave that. I don't really want the dogs to have all of that. So, yep. I see you, Ranger. Here you go. Here you go. All right. So there's one roast for my family. That is going to be really nice. None of this is going to be beautiful or perfect. Never is. We are not experts, but I'm breaking it down the best I can. I want you to see something. Look at the fat. Do you see that? Do you see the fat on this guy? I'm not going to cut all of it off because it's what keeps the moisture in when I cook it. But I want to kind of split this in half. This would make two nice roasts. I also want to rinse this off. I rinsed it off as best I could outside. So let me just take this over and rinse it off. I'll be right back. Here we go. Okay, so let's get back here. I'm trying to remember on the meatsmith. I think he might take this off. Yes, I could probably take this off because it's not connected. Keeping it real close to the bone. This is the spine and the neck. And then there is a bone that runs in through there, I think, if I remember correct. Again, I have not done this a ton of times. And the reason why I'm doing this live stream like this is that you can see you do not need to be an expert to try to grow your own meat. A lot of learning from this, yeah, you can watch all the YouTubes you want, and they're encouraging because you watch other people do it. And sometimes it's intimidating because you think, could I do that? And I really felt that way about the pig, which is why we got goats instead of pigs back in 2020. But, let's see. Once our friends Cindy and Bill allowed us to participate in their hog butchering, we thought, okay, we can do this. We can do this. And we had to because we had got pigs at that point. Now, this should come out. I just have to cut it. Try not to leave too much meat. Okay, I see what you're going through now. Too much meat on it. Now, we explained to you we used a blade that had yellow on it. So you see there's still some left there, which is fine because guess what? We're not going to eat that. But I probably will wind up giving this to the dog, so I'll try to rinse that off a little bit. Okay, almost got it out. Not a professional butcher, like I said, but do you see the big piece of meat that we have here? This big roast. It's going to be 2 big roasts. And I can clean this off and put it in with my sausage as well. See that? There's really not a lot, but what's there, I will take off. And I'll roast these bones before I give it to the dogs anyway, just to give it a little bit of flavor. That's what my friend did. And so I was like, hey, that's a good idea. And they're good dogs. They protect the animals out there really well. So I need to put this probably over here in another pan. Okay, so now this is just a big hunk of meat. There is a bone right here that I'm going to have to, I'll probably cut. Let's see. Let me trim some of this fat now. A little bit more of the blood, which I'll get to that once after I trim off some of the fat. I don't want to take all the fat off. It's leaving a little bit of fat, keeps the moisture in, and I don't know about you, I like the way it tastes when you have that fat on it. Don't you? But I'm going to save all of this for 2 reasons. One, I want to make some lard from it. I have not yet made lard. What I do is after we butcher the rabbits, I keep some whole and I part out others, and still others I will go ahead and grind up and throw in some of this pork fat to make savory sausage. I just usually make a sage and thyme type sausage with it. So this will come in handy. Oh, don't fuss. If you hear whining, it's my beagle. He's looking for his stuff. Okay. There. Hey, and I know if you guys if you see me doing something and thought, you know, why don't you do it this way? You can go ahead and leave comments for me if you have an easier way to do some of this. Again, we are novices at pork. I know how to do a lot of other things on the farm, and this is how we learn. Everything we've done, we've made mistakes with, and that is how we wound up learning. So, actually, I might stick them in a 2-gallon bag right off the bat. Get a 2-gallon bag. Put the fat right in there right off the bat because I'm gonna have a bunch of it. And I'll put it to the side because I'm gonna weigh this when I'm done. Okay, now that I've got that done, I want to cut this in half, clean up the blood, and cut this in half to be 2 roasts for my family. So let's clean up that bloody spot. Gross. I say gross. Some of you are probably like, the whole thing is gross, right? So let me cut out that blood stuff. Look at that. Just take all of that out. Just got trapped in some of the area there. Ah, yuck. Same thing when my friends go deer hunting. Ooh, this must have been the spot. Same thing when my friends go deer hunting. We got some deer meat. Maybe I just want to cut this and grind it into sausage. No, I really want the roast. So maybe I will cut it this way instead, away from the bone. Away from the bone, and then take that, make that into a roast. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's not what I'm going to do. Ooh, well, he did stick it deep enough, that's for sure. This is pretty deep in the neck of the beast. He was a big boy. He was a big boy. All right, let me try to see if I can cut it this way. Let me see if I can cut it this way. And this way here, I'll have two longer roasts. Let's see if that'll work. Okay. There. Okay. It looks like it's going to. It looks like there's just one, but it's long. It's a long bone. I see why he cut it through the other way. It is a long bone. It's okay. It's long and thin, it looks like. This is going to get real messy real fast. This piece I probably am going to put in with the sausage because that's not going to cook right on the roast. So put that in with the sausage. It's a little bit bloody. No, that's not too bad. That can go in the sausage. Okay, here's the bone here. Right here. I'm going to cut right there, so make sure you get that meat out of the way. What is your favorite cut of pork? Do you have a favorite cut of pork? Let me know in the comment section. This is a long, thin bone. I'm not sure if it's the shoulder blade. It probably is, obviously. Okay, I'm making progress. Just seeing if I'm making progress. There we go. Okay. And then here's the meat. Very weird roast, I know, but look, I can get at this better and cut this stuff out better. There we go. Live streams are odd because any mistake I made, I can't edit it out, right? You're going to see it the way it is. So, there. That is not the prettiest, but I will roast that. Did I get all that? Oh. Here, Ranger, you'll be happy. Here, take that. Okay. All right, I think I got it all. I'm going to rinse this and put it over here. A strange looking roast, but a roast nonetheless. Okay, that's going to go in here. All right, let me clean this guy up. He also has a bone in here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm going to cut this little piece off to go in the sausage because it won't cook right. Put that there. That's the beautiful part. Whatever you mess up or feel like you mess up can just be turned into sausage. That'll be a small meal. I could have kept that whole and it would have been fine. Okay, here's all stuff I'm going to keep for the pups later. Because if he eats it all right now, I'm going to share it with the dogs outside too. So put that in with the bone. Okay, now you can see why I put everything on this, right? It makes a huge mess. I'm going to go get the next part. Here you guys go. I'm going to go get the next part. That was a shoulder. Let me try to get a different piece. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Look out, puppy. I'm back. This is the belly. The belly of the pig. And again, I'm gonna have to rinse this off a little bit. I made a mistake and the pig fell to the ground and I had to wash it off as best as I could while processing it out. So I will be cleaning it up. Let me try rinsing it off a little bit now. So again, these have been sitting in coolers outside since Monday. It is Wednesday. I'm going to start by cutting off these little short ribs here. So I'm going to try to stay as close to the ribs as possible. This guy's got so much fat. I was watching the Farmstead Meat Smiths video, and they definitely had the different species of pigs, the pink pigs, and so it's a bit different. They definitely don't have as much lard as these guys do. So if you're looking for a pig that's going to give you fat, this American guinea hog, as you can see, it's given us a bunch of fat. I know it's not the most popular one, but you can see for yourself how much fat you're going to get with an American guinea hog. This guy was a 20-month-old, August, September, October, November, maybe 21-month-old, full-grown castrated male. Is that what you call them? Castrated? I don't know. Sorry, guys. Neutered, castrated. If he was a goat, he'd be weathered. So I don't know what you call a pig that's been castrated. We'll just say castrated. You guys know what I mean. Whatever you call it, it's the same idea. Okay, so there we go. There is the ribs. Oops. There we go. I missed the cartilage there. Cut through the cartilage. Whoops. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Ribs with some extra meat there. I think this is skirt stuff that I am going to grind. I should have pulled it off when I was doing the pig earlier, but some of this fat needs to come off. I believe some of this is leaf lard, so but I'm going to put it over here. I have a bunch of leaf lard out in the freezer, out in the cooler. So I'm probably only going to live stream cutting down one side of the pig, and I'm going to try to video the other side to make a video out of it. So I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not be able to do that. I'm still trying to figure out, yes, even after doing this for a couple of years, some things that we do on the homestead, trying to figure out how to do it while you're doing the work that needs to get done can be a bit challenging sometimes. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So now that that's out, I'm going to cut this in half. And believe it or not, this is going to be my bacon. I know it sounds crazy. This guy, look at that. Look at how fat he is. And if I clean this side up, I'm going to do this. Holy smokes, the fat. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be some bacon. I probably should have cut it a little bit different, but that's what I'm going to do with that. So, and this also will be some bacon. You can see there, once I start trimming it back, it'll look a bit better. But I didn't do as good a job with this guy as I did the last pig we did as far as making the bacon. Let me give it, this one needs a little bit more rinse. there we go. All right. That's good to go too. All right, that was the bottom part of the belly. I've also got to do the top part of the belly. This is so, look at that. Just from the fat rubbing up against it. That's why I wear the gloves. All right, be back with another piece. Okay. All right. Okay. This is the top back spine area of my pig. And you can't tell this, but this is going to wind up turning into, whoops, the door came open. Excuse me, puppy. This is where my pork chops are going to come from. Now, they do have, you can't see it, but right here are the pork chops. These are not going to be as big as on the commercial pigs, but they are so delicious. And this part here, I'm going to cut off and make into sausage. So, start by trimming that back. Oh, puppy, stop fussing. Stop fussing, puppy. Stop fussing, puppy. So much fat. Oh, my word. So much fat. In fairness, they ate really good, these guys. It's hard to pull it back because they've been out in the frozen water. We just put ice water out there and let it sit there to firm up like this. It cools down. This is such a large animal that we put it to cool in the cooler. So, yeah, trying my best to keep everything clean and do it up right. A lot of times, coming from, a sanitized world where I always used to think, everything has to be sanitized all the time, which it does, don't get me wrong, but processing animals, watching somebody process a deer for the first time, I realized it doesn't have to be done in this sterilized environment. That our food, if you're doing your own food, it's actually pretty clean doing it this way. Cleaner than probably you're going to get it as the stuff, in a big factory. So, yep, that's definitely sausage and then some. I do want some fat to be on, my hands are frozen, some fat to be on my pork chops. Man, this guy is big. I wish our scale had worked. I was so sad when we got it up there. We kept fiddling with it, took the pig off, put the pig back on, and I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it was operator error, but I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So we didn't get a final weight on this guy, but you can tell he weighed a lot. For those of you who don't know, or if you haven't heard, or if you're new to our channel, primarily, not the kids, but David and I are primarily carnivore, which means we're heavy meat-based. Do some vegetables, but meat is our main staple. Bacon, beef, rabbit, chicken. I prefer beef, but we couldn't do this with a cow. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, this is so cold. Look at how fat this guy is. Okay. Just gonna do this. I have a bigger knife. I got a longer knife. Hold on. My awesome sister-in-law got us these big sets of knives. This nice, really nice set of knives. Set of knives. I don't talk much. No. In fairness, I teach online in the morning, and I've already talked for 5 hours before I came and did this. So All right. I want to get too, I didn't want to do that. Get too close to the meat, but I did. Dang it. Actually, I think I'm taking it off there anyway, but watch my hand. I know. I can hear you all saying it. Thank you. All right. There. I'm going to put that fat in the bag. Maybe I can get at this a little bit easier now. If I can do this, you can do this. That's what I want you guys to take away from this. Now, maybe it's not a pig. I would highly recommend even rabbits. Even if you live in a suburb or even in the city, you can find a way to raise rabbits. Rabbits are quiet and compact. You don't need a lot of area in order to raise even a small litter of rabbits. And every rabbit is 2 to 3 pounds of meat for you. So that's something to think about. David and I want to do a video. We've been thinking about this video, and I have it all outlined. We just have to sit down and do it, of rabbits versus chickens for raising. And we saw a lot of videos where people were saying, oh no, rabbits are better, and other people, oh no. Usually people say rabbits are better, but maybe it's not for you, because I'll tell you what, rabbit does, even though it tastes a lot like chicken, it doesn't taste exactly like chicken, so it may not be for you. So that's one of the few things that we want to talk about when we do that comparison. Okay, so you see here, there's ribs up until here. These are going to be our ribbon pork chops. Where does it end? Ends right here is the last rib, I believe. Yep, that's the last rib right there. Okay, so this is the cool part. Now you can see it looks more like a pork chop, right? Okay, I'm probably going to take this meat off. This meat needs to come up here. There we go. Okay. Man, if you ever watch Farmstead Meatsmith, he does a beautiful job. And just, I sit in awe of him with his knife on these carcasses. He just looks beautiful. All right, so pork chops. You ready? I'm going to follow the rib. That's how big my pork chop is going to be. And then I'm going to use my cleaver. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I just saw it. He used the cleaver, but I think I'm going to just saw it. Right where the vertebrae is. So it shouldn't be too bad if I'm getting between the vertebrae. Yeah, it looks like it is. Okay, there we go. Watch this. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of cutting the whole pig, is the pork chops. Oh, this one's a kind of a fatty one, but that's a fatty pork chop. But it'll still be good. It'll still be good. Okay, there's one. After this, I'm going to have to start wrapping some of them. So I'm going to move you over to where I'm vacuum sealing them. So, do I want to do that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to cut everything up and then end the live stream there. Because after that, it's really just bagging it and putting it in the freezer. So, right through the spine. There we go. Whoops. A little cockeyed there. There we go. There we go. These are going to be a little fatty. A little fatty. No, they're going to be really fatty, but which is okay for carnivores. But look at that. Okay. Follow the pork chop. I don't think there's actually a wrong way to butcher. I've heard people grinding up an entire pig for sausage. So I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. Ginger, are you fussing? No, that's Ranger. Ranger is fussing. Ranger wants more scraps. The fat beagle. Okay, bacon is my number 1 favorite on a pig. My number 2 is pork chops. So after I cut these, I think I need another bucket here. Let me put this other stuff over here so I can use this pan too. All right. I just freed up that other pan so I can put this stuff in there. It takes a little bit, but not as long as you think. There. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is the best one yet. Doesn't that look beautiful? That looks so beautiful. Look at, that's going to be delicious. Let me put them in this pan. Maybe I'll make pork chops for dinner tonight. Actually, that's what I'll probably did. Last time we did the pork loins. I think I'm going to do the pork chops tonight. Ooh, that's going to taste so good. What is your favorite way of seasoning your pork? Whether it be pork chops or roast. What's your favorite seasoning on a roast? I need some ideas. Because although we're carnivore, I do use herbs to season my meat. Oh, not all the way through yet. The first guy we did, we got a little off track with the cutting it down the spine. So I had to do boneless pork chops the last time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This will definitely be more than enough meat for my family. And the great part is this, even as leftovers, tastes amazing. So, yeah, I may or may not do the video of breaking down the pork. This has been a very busy season and year as we try new things. With David coming out of teaching. Ooh, this is a little bit thicker here. So I've had less time to make videos, but definitely appreciate all of you that stand by us and continue to watch. When the new stuff comes out, we need hours for monetization. And look at that. Woo, nice. It's gonna be nice. Nice big thick pork chop. So if you could help us with watch hours, that would be awesome. This is the last big one. Then I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. This is a beautiful roast, which is what I cooked last time. I can put it there. There we go. Oh, nope. Oh, I think we hit a feather bone right there. So let me see. I think that's what that's called. What bone was sticking there? There we go. Look at that chop. That's a fat chop. That's a fat chop. Too much fat, not a lot of meat, but I'll trim that before I cook it. All right. Now, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this. This is another piece of loin meat. I'm going to go ahead and cut it away from the bone. It's a nice another roast for us. Try to run the tip as close to the bone as I can. Man, I'll tell you, I have been battling. David had it earlier, and then I wound up getting it, even though I try not to. Head cold, and it just makes you feel really draggy. So, I'm trying to find the best way to attack this. There. Maybe there. There's something called feather bones right there at the top of the spine as you head towards the head. Okay, I think I found it. Yay. There we go. Sorry, y'all. I am so tired. And I'm going to be so thankful when this is done and in the freezer. And I'll just relax this afternoon. Sometimes you just got to get stuff done. And if we didn't do it today, what's the guarantee I'm going to feel any better tomorrow? So just decided to go ahead and get it done. And David's out, like I said, working on the vehicle. This morning I went to turn it on and it didn't turn on. Well, it seems that I didn't leave the truck ignition in the right position, which the truck is not really my thing. Like, I had a car that died. I wouldn't mind a little truck, but I'm not used to the truck yet. You'd think I'd be used to the truck after all this time. All right, so it's coming. I don't know if you can see that I'm getting it. It's going to take a little finagling, a little work. I'm trying to keep as much meat as I can on is the point. The tip of the knife does a lot of the work. When you're cleaning meat off of a bone, just running the tip, pulling the meat away from the bone and running the tip where they meet usually does a really good job of getting as much meat as you can. I'll show you when I'm done. See how that just comes right off? Hopefully my head's not in the way, sorry. Should probably be checking that. All right, so you can see, or maybe you can't, that's bone. So I got it pretty dang close to the bone. There we go. That's the bone. Okay, and here is my roast with, yes, a lot of fat on it, but again, I eat fat. Being on a carnivore diet, my body has adapted to fat, and that just tastes so delicious. I mean, I can eat it and not get sick. It used to be before we are on the carnivore diet, if I ate chicken fat, it would make me feel sick. So, anyway, let me clean this up a little bit. We got this now. All we have, so we did the front shoulder, we did the belly and the back, and now all we have is the back leg. So I'll be right back. I just made a huge mess of myself because I had to almost hug it to get it in. It's so heavy. So heavy. This guy had so much. I need to get me a proper, the aprons we had the other day I had not washed yet because I have not been feeling good. So I took yesterday and rested. But I'm going to trim any of the dirty parts off of this. Like I said, I made a mistake and I didn't communicate and it fell to the ground, part of it. I'm really glad I went fishing. We have 3 coolers, a very, very large cooler and 2 smaller coolers. This guy took all 3 of them. He didn't fill all 3 of them, but he filled 2 out of the 3, the really large one and one of the small ones. So he's a lot of pig. This is a lot of pig. All right, this is the back end. And just for reference, this is the tail, where the tail comes off. And I had sawed it there, so this is the tail part. So, if I remember right, I am going to cut here, I believe. And there is a, is that right? Let me think. I think I'm supposed to cut this way. I am gonna cut it this way. This is the, this is a ham hock. I mean a ham, not a ham hock. This is a ham. What we commonly call a ham, like for Christmas and stuff. The bone-in ham is this part here. There's other meat here, and I'm probably going to cut this in half this way for roast for the family. So let me get started here. Again, I'm going to probably rinse this off once I make it smaller, because this is probably the heaviest piece I've brought in so far. So let me start cutting to the bone. Remember, knife through the meat, saw to the bone. Never saw the meat. If you've seen anything I've done today and have recommendations to do it better, I will take them. We are not experts. I just wanted to take you along with me this time as David and I process out the pig, because we won't be probably doing this till next year. So if I'm going to make a video on it, it's going to have to be either now or next year. And the way I'm feeling today, it probably will be next year. Lord willing. So, yeah, some of this stuff is just dirty. And the dogs, you can have it. You guys eat stuff off the dirt anyway, so. Here you guys go. They love processing day. The beagles, when I'm doing rabbits, get the hearts and the livers of the rabbits and the kidneys. They have a good day. They get excited. I put them in the kennel and back while I'm processing. And every so often I'll take a break and go over and throw them a treat. Happy dogs. Happy dogs. Even the big dogs know when they see us. They can tell. They just know. They just know what's going on. I mean, they're predators. They see what we're doing. All right, so I think I got it all. Let's see. And I'm sorry, I don't have a way to see who's doing chat, doing it this way. I'm not doing it from the computer. I'm doing it from my phone. So if you are here, thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'm sorry I'm not talking to you directly, but appreciate you being here. And hopefully this will be helpful and encouraging to you. Like I said, the biggest encouragement I want you to get out of this is that, you know, Nancy here grew up in the inner city of Boston and has figured out how to do this. David grew up in the desert of California and had more exposure to livestock than I did because his grandmother had chickens and his aunt had horses. But honestly, neither of us had ever done anything like this. And we're learning as we go. All right, I think it's ready to be sawed. So if we can do this I am 56 years old. If we can do this, there's no reason that you can't. David had said next time he wanted to C-clamp the tray down to the table. Probably not a bad idea. This is how I stay in shape, y'all. This is my workout. Ah! Okay, let's see. Hopefully I'm getting closer. Probably shouldn't take it out because I know I run the risk of not putting it back down in the same place when I take it out, right? Okay, go ahead, say it. That's one of the suggestions. I know. Ugh. I think it went through. Did it? Nope, not quite. It felt like it did. Yes, I'm crazy, y'all. I hear it. Okay. Yeah. I see it. Just a little bit hanging on. Okay. It's hard to tell because this guy's so meaty. I got into the meat. All right. Knife time. Is it knife time? Maybe. Maybe, baby. All right. Is there... Oh, there's a little bone there, too. That's probably why. Okay. Back at it. Let me see. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or did I lose you by moving around? No, you were seeing what I'm seeing. Hello, who's here? I see one person's here. Is that Cindy? Maybe it's my husband. Yesterday, Monday, David had his phone also running so that we would get watch time. All right, y'all, check this out. That is a roast. I'm going to trim some of the fat on it, but that would be a really nice roast. And then this is a ham. You know that ham that you get, the bone-in ham? That's that. Look at that. Now, I saw something a similar size at Walmart yesterday for $26. this size ham for $26. So, and this ham is even better for you than that ham. Okay, let me see if I can shed some of this. Don't want all of this fat. As much as I love the fat, don't need all of this. Just enough to keep it moist and crispy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh, looks like I hit meat there, so gotta be careful. It's okay. There's plenty of fat there to go around. Okay. All right. Again, not as pretty as the grocery store, but it is going to taste amazing. I'm just shaving off, trying to not get too close to the meat. So you've seen me make pork chops. This is the bacon. You've seen me do bacon. Actually, I probably might do another video on, and it's not even that difficult, which is the crazy part of making bacon. Making bacon is probably the easiest of everything to make. The thing is, last time I did it, we did salted, and I think I salted it too much. So I had to rinse it off. I mean, you rinse it off anyway, but even after rinsing it off, it was still very salty. So I'm going to try to do better this time and try it with less salt and see if I can cure it with less salt. So, all right. So there's one. Whoa, there's a lot of fat back here. Let me carve some of that off. Okay. Let's clean this up to pieces. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. I'll rinse it off. I think it looks pretty okay though. Oh, this little chunk. That would be fine if I cook it like so, which is what I'm going to wind up doing. Let me clean up some of this stuff here. I am going to rinse it out again because it looks pretty clean, but we made a mistake. I made a mistake, and one of the, I'm going to say intestines that leads to the poop chute, you know, we broke it and got a lot of poop inside it, so we had to wash it really good. There we go. Yeah, all right, so that's a roast, a ham, I guess. We were talking about cooking one of these for Christmas. That's going to be super exciting. Clean this ham up so you can see better. Ooh, does this little piece come out? Yes, it does. Did I not even have to saw through it? I could have just cut around it. Did not know that. So it will be, that's why I cut it down too low. I would have cut right around this. Okay, okay, I got that. Probably should cut this piece off anyway and put this, because it's not going to cook right. Do you know what I mean? Once I cook it in the oven, put this in with my sausage. Nothing is going to go to waste. Nothing's going to go to waste. I have a little bone sticking out here. It's going to be a little weird, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. All right. Ignore the fact that I cut too deep and now this bone is like that, but see, that's the ham. A ham. Yay. All right, let me cut these yucky pieces off. If it doesn't look kosher, I'm cutting it off. All right. See, and I like this pan because I can just put the scraps on the side. This doesn't have too much fat. I might leave it the way it is. Shave it a little bit here. So when it cooks a little more evenly. There. Rinse it off. Oh, I didn't like this. This is a different kind of fat on this pig. I don't know what that kind of fat's called, but I did not like that part of the fat for it, you know, baking anyway. Okay. All right, let me rinse off little hog hairs that have found their way. And then I will put it in a 2-gallon bag. This is where, see, I don't like, this is where the what do you call it? Gamber was. That's where the gamber was. I don't know why it looks like that, but the meat looks okay. Look, that looks okay. All right, so I'm gonna rinse this out. And And that's ready to be packaged too. Yeah. Christmas ham. Christmas ham, y'all. Christmas ham. Okay, now I think that is it. That is it. Believe it or not, I'm gonna go ahead and ooh, I'm a little crooked here too. Sorry, y'all. Whoa. All right. Well, that's it. Now all I have to do is the other half and package it up, and I will weigh it. And I will put a post on our community post about how much meat and how much fat we got from this big guy. And then I'll probably package the sausage and do the sausage probably tomorrow or the next day because I'm really tired. And David's still working on the broken down car. I'm kind of sad because he was going to learn how to do this with me. It's fine. There's always next year. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to like and subscribe if this is your first time here. We love you guys all. Thank you for joining us on Maplewood Homestead. Bye now.